Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rockin' time is here. That's right, we're talking about Rebbie Jackson's Centipede, a real song on Kill by Kill's Kill the Rockstar. Well, greetings and salutations, Internet. Your old pal, Patrick Hamilton, coming to you once again from Museum. This is the Kill by Kill podcast, where usually we talk about horror movie characters, but on our off weeks, we like to talk about music videos that either killed a rock star's career or are vaguely horror related. And of course, this week we will be discussing the massive cultural phenomenon that was Rebbie Jackson's Centipede. It really did okayish. And of course, there's only one person I trust to point out the one portrait in your museum that is full of romance. And that is, of course, Gina Radcliffe. How are you doing today, Gina?
Hang on, I'm covered in like hot centipedes. You ever have a hot centipede just like crawl in your bathroom window?
Sometimes I feel like hot like a centipede, I guess, is I don't know that it manifests in actual centipedes. That sounds
the little legs, they kind of burn you when they're like walking on you. It's really uncomfortable.
But do you get hot and bothered? Like, do you go, ooh, I'm tingling like many centipedes are walking on top of me?
No, I don't like it. I do not like it.
Okay. Have you tried Raid or stomping them with a shoe?
I mean, I've mostly just tried slapping at them and screaming, and that seems to get the job done.
The other thing, and I've seen this, I can't do it myself, is just flailing your arms out and having lightning come out, because that gets rid of them real fast.
Oh, okay. I'll try that when we're done.
While you do that, I don't want to scare you, Gina, but we are not alone. That's right. We have a special guest. You know her. You love her. She's a returning champion here to Kill by Kill, and she suggested this music video, and so she has to explain herself. The one, the only, Megan Sunday. How are you doing today, Megan?
I'm good, and the moon just started to glow and then disappeared.
Sure.
I don't know if that's normal.
I mean, it is during Centipede season, because while you might think that the moon has disappeared, it's just all the centipedes over your eyeballs.
Oh.
Or a snake on a pool table obscuring your vision, which is another visual metaphor in this music video where a snake just erects itself on a pool table while a bunch of background dancers stand frozen in time. None of them react to a cobra on a pool table, which I would think might be alarming.
Perhaps, but they're all at the yacht club. So maybe this happens there. I've never been to a yacht club, so I don't know.
I tried desperately to figure out where this music video, because there's an outdoor location to it. So it must have been filmed somewhere. No one wants to admit where that is. So I would have loved to come armed with that information. But certainly the interior sets had to be closed off, because there's a live fucking tiger walking down a goddamn hallway at various points, up and down stairs.
Well, it was the 80s.
There was generally tigers, doves, some sort of wild animal walking about.
I mean, the danger with a dove live on your set, let's say, is you're in a fake bathtub and you're about to crawl out, and a dove poops in your bathtub that you're in. You're like, oh no, that's half an hour that's going to take to clean this out. But when a tiger is loose on your fucking set, that is worrying. And their protection of Rebbie Jackson is get on top of this pedestal and don't look that tiger in the eye. And then that tiger's just roaming its ass around. No one seems to notice.
Be calm. It can smell fear.
I don't mean to make light of, tragedy and scandal and whatnot, but there was often a lot made of the fact that Michael Jackson was not surrounded by people who told him no.
Right. Yeah.
And so maybe when he wrote the lyrics to this song, even in 1984, at the height of his powers, someone should have said, "Hey, Michael."
Well, he was in an interesting headspace when he wrote this song, because one thing I found of note while reading about this song on Wikipedia is that on the 45 single, there's dedication from Michael on the back, not from Rebbie, from Michael.
Yeah, from Michael.
That says to all my mannequins. So yeah, he was in a special place in his mind when he wrote this song
for his sister.
Oh, for his sister, his older sister. And for those who don't know, because why the fuck would you? If you go deeper into the bench of Jacksons, obviously you start at the Michaels and then the Janets or even the Titos. You'll eventually get to Rebbie Jackson, who's older than Michael and Janet, but younger than Tito. And again, as Gina said, because Michael Jackson is doing so well, he can literally do anything he wants. Rebbie's like, I would like to be a pop star too. And Michael's like, well, I have a song about hot centipedes. And she's like, beggars can't be choosers. Let's go to the studio in Glendale.
Why? I've never heard bathroom window in a song before.
Right.
It didn't even come to my window. It's not a specified window.
Well, the problem with this, and I don't know that we've really confronted this since our very first Kill the Rock Star episode way back. When an older gentleman started hitting on a teenager and they go on a magic carpet ride. But both the music video and the lyrics of the song are highly troubling. It's not just like this was a decent pop song and then the music video is insane. It's that it's an insane song and they tried to translate it visually and also failed. And so it is a real cacophony of what the fuck is going on here.
That's how I felt when I first saw it. And that's when I knew I had to send it to you.
How were you exposed to this, Megan?
I had heard the song. I was vaguely familiar with the song. I had never seen the video. I saw a TikTok where a guy was doing bits from the video.
Who was being the background dancers, if I'm remembering correctly.
He was being the background dancers. He was being the tiger.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought, this can't really be what the video is like. This doesn't make any sense, even for, someone doing a TikTok bit. But no, he was incredibly accurate. And I watched it, I think, about 3 times in a row because I went, what is happening right now? Like, why... Is there a frame story? Why is there?
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting choices being made. And just to reiterate to everyone, Centipede was written by exotic bone enthusiast and international pop star Michael Jackson. And as Gina noted, wrote on the back of the 12-inch artwork that is dedicated to, quote, his mannequin friends. And if you know what that means... Call in, write in. I have no fucking clue. I've been pondering it a lot.
I mean, he had literal mannequins in his home. I think he meant these are for my mannequin friends.
I thought it was like a Huckleberry friend.
But here's the thing about Michael Jackson, particularly in the lyric department, is that he would kind of tell a story, but kind of not. Because Billie Jean, you can kind of get what he's going for, but the song's so catchy, you almost don't care. Beat It, people were very informed by the music video of it, but if you were to just listen to the lyrics, is he the person being told to beat it? Is he telling someone else to beat it? You don't know. You often don't get a lot of sexual allusions from Michael. That he put in the mouth of his sister.
Well, here's the thing is that, like, this is a song that is clearly supposed to evoke passion.
Yes.
But it is written by someone who I don't know has, up to this point at least, had ever experienced what passion actually feels like.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. I often remember on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the captain who was gay, who had to go undercover as a married man and referred to breasts as two heavy bags of sand. That is evoking what this is. Like, oh, I'm tingling all over. Like when a centipede walks on you. The fuck are you talking about?
You know, passion really does feel like when you're crawling through a bathroom window.
To bite someone.
You know, you get that same feeling of like, you know, like a windowsill pressing into your stomach. That's what passion feels like.
And you're crying and you are the centipede.
Yeah.
But also the
centipede dark.
But also the centipede is crawling on you.
And then the snake is also crawling, but he's in the crawling.
There's a lot of crawling. I really feel like that you know, a passionate romance should involve less crawling. I mean, unless you're into some weird kind of thing. But generally speaking, there should be not that much crawling.
But there is at least like a tradition within the R&B and pop music sphere of begging for the partner that you desire, right? I'm on my hands and knees, that sort of thing. So I almost feel like that's what he's going for, or he's going for the tingling sensation of being all hopped up on a hormone juice when you see the person that you want to sleep with, and then describes it like fucking centipedes walking on you, and someone else is like, that's a single. Make it.
It's like, you know, I kind of picture him like presenting this song and somebody, do you think he means butterflies? Yeah, probably, but just let him go. This is Michael Jackson. Are you going to tell him he means butterflies?
Right. I mean, he made shaman a thing. Does anyone know what shaman is? We don't. So
if you want to have centipedes crawling in your skin instead of butterflies in your stomach, centipedes it is.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. Why not?
But
and it's not to say or hot like a centipede.
Hot centipedes.
Hot centipedes.
Get your
come
hot
one,
centipedes.
come all. What everyone in America is dying to hear, it's hot centipede season. Which
imagine like, you know, you're like 13 or 14. You're like, he gives me hot centipedes.
Oh my God.
See, that would get you sent to a vice principal's office. Is my feeling.
or a school counselor.
Yeah.
Or your Wednesday Addams.
Right. And it's not to say that this song wasn't successful. It hit number 4 on the R&B charts. It was number 24 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a very good dance single. It charted there as well. And this, as a first on this show, might be the only song we've covered so far that has a flugelhorn solo. So
I mean, it's a very catchy song.
Mark that down.
Right. Let's track our flugelhorns as we go along here, because I think this might be the one and only time that happens.
Yeah, this is definitely a song that I recall from when I was a kid, but I had not heard for years. And of course, this was the first time I really paid attention to the lyrics, and it was just like, all right. I did not know that's what the song was about.
I remember the tinkling, you know, catchphrase of the song, and I'm like, okay, I know I've heard that before. Not to say I was a giant fan of it, but I know that as the radio was on, I heard it. But like you, this was the first time I really paid attention to the lyrics, and I found myself confounded.
Yeah, I think I guess when I was a kid, I must have thought it was a dance or something, but I was like, oh wait, this is a love song? Question mark.
Yeah.
It's more like a lust song, but that's even more confusing, given the lyrical allegories going on here. As far as the music video goes, like Megan denoted, it does have a framing device, We open on the same rock and roll museum that Run DMC visit and the King of Rock music video, I guess. And a tour guide introduces us to a piece of artwork, and it's not good. It's not
I like how you sound like you had to kind of swallow that down. You're like, artwork.
Art.
Well, it's not. If I was to describe it as a piece of something, artwork might not even be in the top 5. So she points at it, and then it's like, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the museum's most treasured masterpiece, Centipede, a portrait of a woman with true romance and beauty. The fuck that means? Did she miss a word and they did not have a second take? No one wrote that down. Was that whispered in her ear in a game of telephone? and
that's what docents do when they describe paintings to you.
Hey, Miss, I was a tour guide. I told people we're now in the old Mexico section of the Universal Studios backlot, where Janet Jackson filmed her Escapade music video. Like, I had that at the ready, but I didn't like swallow half of it and misappropriate what the fuck this painting is supposed to be. If it is that particular museum's masterpiece, I would hate to see anything else in this museum.
It's like that, and like a painting of like a burro and a guy with a sombrero. That's it.
It's got that dogs playing pools.
Just gonna see it from maybe one Velvet Elvis.
Ooh,
just one Magnum PI kitten on a San Francisco hill.
My friend does have a Magnum PI on Velvet. I think maybe that could go.
Man.
Oh, it's glorious. I've just stared at it before.
Yeah. No, that sounds fantastic. And so when this docent, introduces this painting to the crowd, that is when the camera cuts to Rebbie. And she is her mouth is disturbingly agape. She is having a long, deathly silent orgasm while reaching out, arms akimbo, towards each extreme of the painting in an incredibly stiff manner. And you're thinking, is she having an incident? What is going on? And then, thank God, the docent goes, it just picks up right where she left off. Tonight, she will come back to the world. From where? We never find out. But
how do they know this?
Why would they tell the tour guide? To show the world her special powers.
This is how art works.
We can call it that, sure.
It's like Wishmaster 2.
Art is getting away with it, and it turns out that Rebbie Jackson will be imbued with the painting's magical powers and get away with it. So I guess it's art. Now the rest of the music video doesn't have a real story to it. It's just mainly awkward dance moves and lightning bolts that shoot out of Rebbie's fingertips while surrounded by the Question Your Sexuality men's dance troupe of Glendale, California, who are all dressed in tuxes with a red bow tie and cummerbund. And
very sexy.
Yeah, they definitely got the I'm matching my prom date look.
Yeah,
I don't even know if like that's even a thing anymore with the kids. But back when Patrick and I were in high school, when you when you went to prom, the boy would wear the cummerbund and the bow tie would be the same color as his date's dress.
The height of sophistication, I think, is what we refer to it as.
Exactly. But the thing about Rebbie Jackson is she has a pretty good. It was very much enhanced, let's say, by the vocals of Martha Wash, who enhanced a lot of vocals in 80s and 90s songs.
Yes, she did.
She's not much of a dancer. She did not get any of her siblings' dance abilities.
You can see her counting off in her head with some of those moves.
Yeah, most of her.
You can see her.
Yeah, most of her dancing is kind of the sort of like almost like snake charming kind of arm movement thing, but like
she's a centipede.
From like the waist down, there's like nothing going on. She's just kind of wandering around
like a stick in the mud, at the top of it flailing like a balloon man advertising a used car lot, and just waving at people. And the whoever the special effects person is on this music video is like, I can add some lightning bolts to that. And everyone's like, yes, please, anything, add lightning bolts to it.
Return of the Jedi had just come out. They were like, it was pretty sharp.
The force
lightning, the force lightning.
And I also, this has to subtly be also evoking Ghostbusters, one of the bigger films of the summer in 1984. And so they've put her in a red dress and she's got lightning bolts coming out and people are transforming into animals. And they're like, people like this. This is what people like. And Rebbie's like, I don't care. I'm just happy to be on a record. And so you get a lot of purchased footage of bugs, which is not sexy.
Just
never
with just a filter over it.
Right.
Just
it's
lighting.
That transposed thing. And they're just warbling between that. And then a cobra snake who is definitely not real because his eyes light up. And he's just disturbingly rigid.
He is very happy to be there.
Well, he is erect for the vast majority of his music video. The only person involved in it who's turned on in any way, shape, or form.
Whose job was it to have to just try to shake that plastic?
Kind of lay down, kind of lay just out of frame, and like with like this, with like a snake on a plastic snake on a stick.
And it's not a rubber snake. Like there's no movement to it.
Well, there is to the tongue. There is at least one lever that someone is squeezing to make the tongue come out. And the eyeballs light up. But then it even starts to emit lightning bolts as they're just trying like, we got to do something to make this look cool. And they're like, whoa, hold on. We contacted our guy, Jimmy. We had a coupon. I got a free tiger. So why don't we bring the tiger to set? And everyone's like, great. Can it walk downstairs? Of course it can walk downstairs. Can it walk down the stairs towards Rebbie Jackson? Sure. You might not want her to be at the bottom of the stairs. Oh, no. We got a table for her to stand on. It'll be great. The tiger will not be able to leap on top of that table and eat her alive. As far as I know, she was not eaten alive because she had a couple hits after this. But wow, it does not look like PETA was on the set, right?
No. I think in 1984, you just called. It was not even an animal handler. It was just a guy you knew.
Yeah, a guy who would show up with like a pickup truck and like a cage in the back of it.
Like when you go to a club and there'll be a guy with like a snake.
Yes, right.
Maybe that only happens in Tampa, Florida.
No, it happens in New Jersey. It happens in New Jersey too.
Okay.
I would say it happens more often in Tampa, Florida. But yeah, sure. So yeah, and it's at this point you might be wondering, like, is Rebbie's sexual desire the centipede? Is it the erect snake? Is it this loose tiger? Is she NBC's Manimal? You're never told.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are her powers? Why does she have lightning? Why is she wearing a Mother of the Bride dress?
That is a Mother of the Bride dress, isn't it? Like, I have nothing against modest dress, but it is an attempt by someone to try to look sexy in the least sexy way possible. Like she just, every inch of her from like the neck down is covered in fabric.
Yeah, I feel like when they were like filming this video, I don't know this for a fact, but I think at least for a while, I think she was one of the more religious Jacksons. So I do think that there was someone going, well, we've got this. She's like, no, we've got this. Yeah, that one.
I mean,
I have a dress I wore to an office party one day.
I was going to say it is enough to make her wear harlot red. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that's where we begin to question Mike and Rebbie's artistic choices. Because what is the centipede in this song's title referring to? And I've been having what the kids call the sex for a while now. Not to brag. I can't say that I'm the best.
Wow. Check out Mr. Sex Guy here. Wow.
I know. Wow.
I've had the sex. And at no point in my history has anything approached hot centipede levels.
How about
do you know that for sure? Have you asked?
I think it would be memorable if you were about to have sexual congress or in the midst of it and you got hot centipede feelings. I think that would be memorable. It would. You would be able to point out the day.
I think that if I was in the middle of or about to have sex and I started feeling like there were hot centipedes crawling over me, I would say we have to stop. I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, there's a problem. I think I am having a reaction to something.
Yeah, like you're having some sort of religious mania. This isn't turned on anymore when you get a hot centipede feeling like you're crawling through a bathroom window. Again, that is not like it's fine to have an illusion, but I do have to kind of be able to figure out what the fuck you're talking about in order to sing along.
Yeah, my desire for you is like crawling through a bathroom window. That is a baffling metaphor.
Is it a first floor bathroom?
Is this the couple from It Wasn't Me? Let me remind you, we're on a bathroom floor, which is equally as let's not.
I mean, I guess if you, a charitable interpretation of it would be, this makes me feel naughty and dangerous, but there are so many other clearer metaphors you could use to get that feeling across.
Again, come to my window. I'm assuming that's a bedroom window.
Yeah. At a certain point, you have to feel like Michael was just like playing with the idea of a chorus and a hook that was like, centipede, and was so fixated on how cool that sounded that he didn't give a fuck about how any of the rest of it sounds.
He just built a song around the hook.
Mm-hmm,
yes. And, I'm sure that has worked to his benefit many, many times. It is, and this wasn't unsuccessful, so you can't say it didn't work, but it also is just confusing as fuck. We all want to be desired, but I just crawled through your bathroom window to give
like a centipede.
To give him all your love. Yeah, like a centipede.
Just
That's
wiggling.
the other thing. That's not sexy. Like snakes are on the, at least that's semi-phallic. A tiger at least has feline elements to it. Centipede just gives me the fucking gross. It's just the ick.
Yeah, it's like I'd like.
And then they keep showing a centipede, and it's like I don't want to look.
Right. It's like is this a metaphor or do you mean a literal centipede?
Yeah, because you're showing me a centipede. I'm looking at it, and there it is.
You're singing centipede over and over and over again, and showing me a centipede, and going, "You hot yet? You want to have sex? Not particularly. Not at all. None of this is making me turned on." Or reminding me of when I was turned on. It's like I've gone to the zoo and my kid's pointing at, that's cool. That's a centipede. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that touching me. I definitely don't want it crawling through the bathroom window to give me all their love.
No, I don't want its love. I reject its love.
And then there are the prophetic elements of this music video. Like when Rebbie Jackson enters a game room of some sort, and all the background dancers are frozen in time, and she just parades in front of them, arms waving wildly, lightning bolts occasionally emitting, snake on a pool table, and it's kind of like it's giving Bachelorette first night.
Yeah,
where the Bachelor just
there was a thing in a lot of 80s videos where you just had like expressionless handsome young men just standing around in mansions, just sort of blankly observing what the singer is doing, and nobody observes more blankly than I can't even call them dancers. They don't dance. They literally just stand around.
No.
But
and they're not as a whole particularly.
No, they're just all wearing tuxedos, which could be confusing to people. I understand.
But then finally, the music video hits on its pinnacle moment when everything crystallizes. You're like, oh, I know what this is now. And that is when one of the guys becomes unfrozen and hands Rebbie Jackson a glowing orb. And you're like, oh, I get it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We loved glowing orbs back in the 80s.
We
loved orbs. We had that. We had that.
What everyone wanted.
We had that spinning orb in Abracadabra.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now we've got it here.
Everyone wants to just hold on to something spherical and that lights from within.
It's very Dungeons and Dragons, which is also in the news.
Sure. People love it. If your fetish is watching a lady walk past a bunch of dudes who have been frozen solid, like this is your Karma Sutra. Like it's never going to get better than this.
Why is she in the game room of a country club?
I don't know.
That's not a mystical mansion or,
Well, is it a mystical mansion? They've got glowing orbs and hot and cold running centipedes.
I feel like that's what I imagine California to be like.
We don't have centipedes.
Really?
That's not a California thing. That may be more of a deserty climb might have that, but
because I've lived in California, but I lived in the desert. I feel like there were centipedes, so maybe that's why.
Sure. I can't claim to be a desert of California expert. I can only say that here in Los Angeles County, while we've recently enjoyed an invasion of mosquitoes every summer, centipedes have not arrived yet. That's me knocking on wood.
Yeah. They're going to be crawling through your window before you know it.
Yeah. Trying to bite you with their love.
Yeah, to get me all that love. Rebbie's vocalizations during the bridge leave a little something to be desired. It's like she's trying to rev up a cold engine on an early morning. It's a lot of you're like, no. Sound like Pee Wee Herman trying to
she just can't contain the passion.
No, she's overwhelmed. She's in a painting, I think.
Well, the spirit is in. Is this some sort of witchcraft transference thing? The spirit, was she at one point in the painting and has been living a life outside of it and now is being reunited with it? Or was it always her destiny to see the painting and the spirit of the painting is then zapped into her?
Yeah, I
can't believe this didn't have an anti-occult warning.
Sure. Yeah. And it's far more culty than Thriller, which is very obviously just a horror movie homage. It's much more confusing.
Yeah, this is her. You don't go and join a tuxedo and centipedes cult.
No.
Definitely do not visit museums. It's a bad idea. And then at the end of the music video, before you know it, like it's closing time, and she's been standing rigidly in front of it this entire time. And finally a security guard goes, "Ma'am, it's closing time." And she goes, "Oh, okay, I'm going to zap you." And he instantly goes, "I'm rigid." This is my
favorite character in the whole video. I love this guy.
He's giving it his all.
He really is giving 150%.
He is earning $75 for that, and he is going to earn it.
Well, he's got a line, so it's an under 5. He might have qualified for SAG, or this could have helped him keep his, health insurance. I don't know if it was a union gig. But yeah, he just stands there, and the special effects guy goes, "I'll make him throb lights like that."
Yeah, he's like, wah, 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 wah.
He just wah, 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 but it's his position when it happens, because one hand is like clutching his chest like he's about to have a heart attack, and the other arm is raised up high, and I kept watching it and thinking, what does this remind me of? What position is he in? What is this? And then I remembered that's what Red Fox does every time he has a faux heart attack on Sanford and Son. No, nothing but the most timely references here on Kill by Kill.
I made a Moon River reference.
So yeah, he goes blah 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 blah, and she just saunters off, now in a very, very tent-like yellow sweater, off to zap more victims like your casual hot centipede, I guess.
As one does.
As one does. And then it turns back to the painting, and the lady in that very modest dress is no longer on that stairwell.
Somehow the painting is uglier than when they got there.
Yeah, it's not improved, but also it wasn't better when she was in it. It just in a state of, this isn't great. I think we could do better, but they didn't have time and they didn't have the budget.
I mean, at least it's a painting. It appears to be a painting. It's not just a photo that they drew over real quick.
It's whoever painted it has a sense of scale, but cannot do faces. Like Rob Liefeld cannot draw feet. This painter cannot
there's
faces.
definitely just a couple of gray blobs in that on for faces in that painting.
Well, the men don't matter.
No, they really don't. They're totally interchangeable.
Yes,
they're probably They're the same tuxedo guys from the Material Girl video.
Those guys are hoofers, and they can lift Madonna in the air. I'm not entirely sure. They try to lift
Rebbie. They kind of hoist her for a second,
but they get up. They do that maneuver where you get up under a lady's armpit and hoist her while she's like doing the "Can you take me high?" Jesus pose. So they got that going.
Well, it's hard to one lift, and also if the other, I mean, as we learned from Dirty Dancing, if the other person isn't, giving, you can't lift. Yes.
Well, yes. As much as Rebbie can give, it is crawling through a bathroom window. It is not. Hold on, everybody. The dance break is coming, and then she just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4s her way through it.
Because she wasn't. She was never on their show or anything, right? I have no idea.
No, and listen, the Jackson family, even from the Jackson 5 standpoint, the brothers whose names you don't know are incredible dancers. Just to be able to keep up with Michael, you had to be on some level, and you have the feeling that Rebbie was that there was a lot of shoulder pats on Rebbie's.
Yeah, you're doing you're doing okay. Fine too. You're fine. No, it's okay.
You're good. You know what? This is a fun single. You'll get him on the next one. You're more of a balladeer, okay? We need one dance single, all right?
But yeah, I think as Megan pointed out, I think she was one of the more religious members of the Jackson family. So I think that even though this song was meant to evoke, lust and sexuality, albeit in a very, very weird, indirect way, I think that she was very uncomfortable with evoking sex herself. But which is why her outfit, even though it's red, is a little matronly. And why her dancing isn't particularly suggestive. So I think that this was, this probably was not her first choice for a song that she would have sung. But, this was Michael's call. He knew what he was doing. He was in charge.
Right.
Yeah.
He knew how to get a song onto the Hot 100. He knew how to kickstart her career. And he did that. And while she did not have a particularly giant career the way some of her siblings did, she had more Hot 100 singles than I ever fucking did. So there you go. And I've been trying for many decades to get onto the charts. And it turns out I cannot sing, Gina.
Well, that's fine. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So
no, nor I.
Centipede! See, even there, there's
a reason all the songs I sang to my daughter when she was a baby were Tom Waits songs or Leonard Cohen's Tom
Exactly. You got that low voice. I got that late.
I got a very certain.
I got
range.
that lady tenor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I used to rock Oliver to sleep, mumbling Eric B. and Rakim's microphone, which he now listens to of his own volition. So I made it happen, everybody. That pretty much. I wish there was more, but it is definitely a cure. It's one of the more interesting songs
it's
covered.
It's just wild when you compare her to like when Janet Jackson remade herself in this very overtly sexual way, when she did the whole, posing on Rolling Stone with her husband cupping her boobies and just, and then like you've got Rebbie, who's basically like, everybody's mom, trying to be a little saucy, but not very comfortable with it.
Yes. Just being the most like, hey, does this turn you on? Like,
no.
I don't.
Can I be honest? It ain't giving me the centipedes. I'm sorry.
I still don't understand.
Maybe we just haven't had this experience the centipedes. Maybe we're missing out.
That's true.
Maybe. It's not. Maybe it's an MP, not a YP when it comes to the centipedes. If you felt the centipedes, don't tell us.
It doesn't sound enjoyable.
It does not sound alluring. It doesn't sound like something you want to have. Wouldn't describe that to my kid as like, you'll know when it's the right time. You'll feel like a hot centipede crawling through a bathroom window. Looking for a cold bathroom floor.
I should have gone to the Museum of Sex when I was in New York City. I bet they have a thing about centipedes.
Just a big old box of centipedes you can stick your hand in.
Ah.
There, now it's like being in an orgy.
Feel all those hot centipedes crawling all over you?
Oh my God.
That's like sex. That would have been a very different American Pie if that was how sex had been described.
That's very, if you get sex, you'll get pregnant, you'll die. That's a very like
make it as repugnant sounding as possible so no one will want to try it.
You want to know what sex is like? It's like a hot centipede.
It's like you're clawing through a bathroom window and there are centipedes there.
And you're biting.
I don't know why anybody wants to do this. That sounds terrible.
Just have Rachel Lee Cook in a kitchen going, you want to know what sex is like? And she dumps a box of centipedes onto a frying pan.
Mm-hmm.
There, stick your dick in that. That's what sex is like.
I feel like it's a symptom of something. Like if it feels like hot centipedes are crawling all over your penis.
It's like a feeling you should not have either before, during, or immediately following sex. It's itching.
Yeah.
Or biting or hotness.
Yes. Does it burn when you pee? Does it feel like hot centipedes are crawling all over you?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
See your doctor. Yeah. So that we have to stop talking about hot centipede sex. I just got a notification from the Federal Communication Board that they're going to shut us down if we talk about it anymore. We're going to get lowered several notches down that top 10 horror podcast list if we talk about any more hot centipede sex. Megan, where can people hear more from you? This type of conversation.
They're like, I do not.
We invariably
want
have
to.
when you're on.
No, thank you. I am a co-host of Let's Get Weirding, a Dune podcast. We're coming back. We're doing it. It's 2024. I write for The Spool, where I write about film and television. And I figure since everyone else is doing it, I'm going to write a Steamboat Willie horror movie. So, hey, why not?
Why not? We got on the Steamboat Willie horror train a long time ago. You could buy it as a t-shirt and have been able to for 3 years, everyone. Shout out to JS Comics, at JS Comics with an X. But the t-shirt is available in our TeePublic store. Gina, where can people find you on these here.
I too am writing a Steamboat Willie movie. Only he's really super dark and fucked up. I don't know if you guys are ready for this. So
well,
it's gonna be wild, man. Wait till you see. And when I'm not doing that, I also write about movies and television at the Spool, and I have a Substack. Gina watches things at Substack.com, and I am on all social medias except for Twitter under Gina Does Things.
Do it today, people. Check it out. Josh Hollis does our artwork. Go to Revenge Body Memphis at bandcamp.com for this remix and all our other tunes. Rate, review, and subscribe on your various podcatchers. It helps us be seen and heard by more people. Go to our Patreon for bonus content, like the time that Gina and Megan had such a good time watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, that they convinced me I might have.
Look, you did not take much convincing. Stop lying.
No, you really didn't.
It sounded like everyone else was having a good time but me.
Well, you should have been there.
No one had to flog you with Eeyore's tail.
As we talked about that, we talked about New Year's Evil. We talked over it. It's a commentary episode. It's very fun. All that good stuff is available for you at patreon.com/killbykill. But that just about does it. Next week, we're keeping on the music train, everybody. It's really an incredible culmination of Kill the Rockstar, because we will be discussing the one, the only, and the only because no one else has dared ever try, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park. We are really straining what a podcast that normally deals with horror movies can get away with, as four guys who wanted to kind of be the Ramones but said, let's put on makeup instead, decided at the height of their powers to make an NBC TV movie where they go to Magic Mountain and you see footage of Revolution over and over and over again. Occasionally lightning bolts come out of their fingers too. Are they better dancers than Rebbie Jackson? We'll find out. But that's next week. Don't worry, folks. The body count will continue. For myself, for Gina, and for Megan.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.